Cool. So, as Medic said, this is our AMA for Farmacy Finance. And we're super excited to have you guys. So thank you for coming, and I look forward to hearing a bunch of your questions. So what we're going to do, because it's been about a couple weeks now since we've announced Farmacy, and a lot of you guys have been pitching questions to us in Telegram as well as Discord, which we launched. If you guys aren't aware of, we did launch our Discord, so you're going to want to make sure you go over there and join that, because we've been dropping some juicy alpha every few days over there. Things regarding the launch of Farmacy and a couple other cool things. So today in our AMA, we have myself, Rendertrap, who, if you guys have been hanging around in our chat and our Telegram or Discord, you guys probably already know me. I'm a community moderator. We have another moderator with us, Crypto Medic. You guys have probably seen him around. And we have the Oracle, who is a member of our core team for both TRP and Farmacy Finance. So yeah, as a lot of you guys know, we announced our plan to launch the world's first Ohm-Tomb fork ecosystem in place of migrating TRP to a version 2 contract. And that raised a lot of questions from you guys about why. Is there going to be taxes? What is Farmacy Finance? How does this help TRP? And a bunch of other questions. So what we're going to do, just in the interest of making things efficient, is I've already got a list of some of your guys' most frequently asked questions. So we're going to go through those first. And I'll just kind of go down the list and give the question and then give the answer. And then after we go through all of that, we will open up the floor to you guys for any additional questions that you guys might have. So let's get started. First and foremost, the biggest question that we get, obviously, is what is Farmacy Finance? And the answer to that is, as I stated a few minutes ago, it is the world's first Tomb and Ohm fork ecosystem. We decided to build this to add sustainability and utility to the existing TRP protocol, which many of you know has been sort of struggling and has been the victim of price bots and a few other things. So our aim is to fix all of that with the launch of Farmacy Finance. So our second question that we get most frequently after that is, how does Farmacy Finance make TRP more sustainable? And that is the $1 million question in any crypto, really, especially when it comes to rebase protocols, is how does this last? How long can this go on for? So to answer that question, it's pretty simple. By giving people the option to take their TRP off of the regular high, 100,000% APY, or even higher into the trillions when we're in our jump phase. By giving people that option to take their TRP off the APY to earn a separate token, in this case, it would be script from the Farmacy ecosystem, we're taking pressure off of the protocol. By doing that, we're reducing the rate of inflation. And additionally, we're giving people the option to bond their script for TRP. So it's no different than when you go on the TRP website and you're bonding for TRP with your cake or your BUSD or whatever it is. But in this case, you're bonding script now. And when you bond script for TRP, it sends it to the TRP treasury. So doing this builds the strength of the TRP treasury. And the bigger that the TRP treasury gets, the less impact larger cells and bots manipulating price will have on the protocol. Next, another question that we get a lot is what happens. This is relating to the actual launch of Farmacy. A lot of people have been bringing up concerns about what happens if everybody sells their TRP to get into the launch of Genesis for Farmacy. And the answer to that is you don't have to sell your TRP to get into the Genesis pools for Farmacy. We structured it in such a way that we could avoid that, because obviously our investors are our priority, and the last thing we want is for everybody to feel like they have to dump one project to get into another one. So what we did here, this is not something that we're concerned with, since the people holding TRP don't have to sell their TRP to take part in the Genesis pools, and I'll explain why. So when the Genesis pools open, you guys, the investors, can simply pair your existing TRP. So you can unstake it. You can take it off the protocol, off of the high APY, but you don't have to sell it. You simply pair it with fresh BNB, or you can sell a little bit of your TRP and buy WBNB, right? So you get BNB and then you can wrap it. Once you have your WBNB and your TRP, you go to PancakeSwap and you create a liquidity token. So it's as simple as going to PancakeSwap, clicking to provide liquidity, choosing your pair. So in this case, you would choose TRP and WBNB, and clicking provide liquidity. Once you do that, your tokens will be deposited. You'll receive an LP token that represents the equivalent amount in value for both of the tokens that you've staked. Now, I say stake. What that means is when the time comes that you want to unpair those tokens, you can, and you can get that back, right? So you'll get your TRP back. You'll get your WBNB back. So you don't have to spend anything. You don't have to sell anything to take part of the Genesis pool. You're just staking to earn more rewards, which you guys are totally used to because you've been staking your TRP this whole time. So our next question that we have is, how does launching Farmacy Finance fight the issues of bots manipulating the price? And I kind of touched on this already. The biggest thing here is that the bonding of script sends it to the TRP treasury, building that strength and mitigating the impact of the large sells. So the stronger our treasury is, the less affected we are by price. Additionally, though, you can consider that there will be less TRP investors selling their TRP for profit, since they can use their TRP to earn script. And script is pegged to 0.01 BNB. If you look, 0.01 BNB, last I checked, is worth about $3.95 US. That's actually more than what script is currently trading for. So what that says is you can take your TRP, you can stake it, same way that you're used to, but instead of earning TRP through the regular protocol, you can earn script through the Ohm-Tomb finance protocol and sell the script for profit. That means all these people that are earning script with their TRP will be selling the script for profit instead of TRP, meaning less people selling TRP, meaning less volatility in the price. So obviously, big question here is, how do you profit off of Farmacy? I kind of broke that down a little bit, but I'm going to go into a little bit more detail. So I kind of have a list here. There's sort of 4 strategies that we've broken down, and there's when it comes to Ohm-Tomb, there's a ton of strategies that you can employ, and it kind of comes down to the individual user. But these are just the 4 most basic sort of strategies that you can employ. So number 1, you stake into the available LP pools, like I mentioned before, either by pairing your TRP with WBNB or staking one of the other corresponding tokens. In this case, I think we had like BUSD, WBNB, and a few others. And that's all listed in the most recent Medium articles that we have. So you stake into the available LP pools to earn shares, or P shares rather, which P shares are represented by the gold pill. So when you go on to the website and the app, once it's launched, you will see P shares, which will be represented by gold pills, and you will see script, which is the native token. So you stake into the LP pool to earn P shares, you stake your P shares to earn script, and you sell your script for profit. That's strategy number 1. Strategy number 2 is you can buy P shares outright from PancakeSwap. So you don't even need to stake into the LP pools. You can just buy it. When the price of script is above peg and you're staking your P shares, you earn script. So again, when you take your script, once you've earned it, you can sell it for profit, right? So option 1, stake into LP pools to earn the P shares, stake those to earn script. Option 2, just buy P shares, stake them to earn script. Strategy number 3, bond script for TRP, stake your TRP into the regular Ohm protocol that you guys are used to and earn high APY, sell your TRP for profit. Option 4, strategy 4 would be when the price of script is below the peg. So when the value of script is less than 0.01 BNB, what happens is the vault will open. The vault is essentially the bonding mechanic for Farmacy Finance. It only becomes available when the price of script is below the peg at the start of a new epoch. So anytime the rebase counter restarts. When the price of script is below peg, you can buy P bonds, which represent your P shares. So the idea here is when it's below script, or when it's below peg rather, you buy your P bonds and you hold them until the price of script goes up. When the price of script is above peg, you could do 2 things. You can cash it in, you can claim your P bonds, and you will receive P shares in place. Or rather, the longer you hold your P bonds when the price is above peg, the more rewards you receive. So there's some incentive for holding on to those bonds, even though the price is above peg. And we will be breaking that down more in the coming Medium articles. So the last Medium article we released, we'd mentioned that it's a 3-part article. So the first part was basic strategies. The second part is going to be sort of intermediary strategies. And the final part will be expert strategies for investing in Farmacy Finance. So keep an eye out for that. Next question that we get a lot is, what does pegged to 0.01 BNB mean? If you guys haven't figured it out yet, it basically just means that the price of script will be an equal value or above the value of 0.01 BNB. Next question. What happens when script falls below peg? I kind of answered that already, but basically, if the price of script is below 0.01 BNB, P bonds will become available through the vault. And the way that works, it uses something called a time-weighted average price. So when the TWAP, or time-weighted average price of script, is under peg, this means script price will have been under 0.01 BNB for the majority of the previous epoch. This will trigger the vault to open. This maybe should have been the first question that I answered, but we get it a lot. What is Tomb? Tomb is a project that exists on, I believe, the AVAX network, but basically it is an algorithmic token, serves as the backbone of a rapidly growing ecosystem aimed towards bringing liquidity and new use cases to the Opera network. The protocol's underlying mechanism dynamically adjusts Tomb supply, pushing its price up or down relative to the price of Phantom. We've taken that concept to the Binance Smart Chain network and combined it with our TRP protocol. So it works the exact same way, only it's on Binance, and we're pegging to 0.01 BNB rather than pegging to the price of Phantom. And finally, the last question that we get a lot, and I sort of answered it already, but I'll give you sort of a better answer, is how do you get LP tokens? This is the big one because this is going to be how you get into the Genesis pool if you're trying to pair your TRP with WBNB. So this explanation is actually taken directly from Pancake's website because that's where you would go, PancakeSwap, to create your LP tokens. So you connect your wallet. Once your wallet is connected, you navigate to the liquidity section in the trade menu, select your token pair you wish to provide. In this case, it would be TRP and WBNB. Click Add Liquidity. Choose how many tokens you wish to add on one or the other half of the pair. Whatever you choose, let's say you put in 100 TRP, it will automatically fill the other token. So you need to have a 1-to-1 balance. If you're putting in 100 TRP, you need to have the equivalent value in WBNB. So if 100 TRP, for sake of example, is worth $100 US, you would put in 100 WBNB. Or not 100 WBNB, but $100 worth of WBNB to match it. Once you've done that, you stake your tokens, and now you take your newly minted LP token over to the farm section at Farmacy Finance and stake them in the corresponding pool. In this case, it would be the TRP WBNB pair pool. Doing so will earn you P shares once your tokens are deposited. You will immediately start earning P share rewards, and you can claim your P shares at any time by clicking the claim button. Once you have your P shares, you can take your P shares over to the doctor's office, which is one of the places in Farmacy where you can earn script. So you take your P shares over to the doctor's office, stake them in the doctor's office, and the doctor pays you script. I'm just scrolling through some of these questions. A lot of these have been answered in our white paper. I think that's about it for the major questions that we've got in chat over the last.
I'm going to break in for 1 sec. I just, because I see where you're kind of going there, and I just want, as long as you're mentioning white paper, I did get a heads up today. White paper is coming to a close. It's almost wrapped up there, so we should see that here this coming week. I would hope within the first couple of days of the week we'll have a nice white paper out for everybody.
Amazing. Yeah, that's awesome. So there you go, guys. That's going to be a huge breakdown and a huge step forward, because that's going to give you all the mechanics, all the math behind the project, and really kind of get into the nitty gritty, right? We can tell you how to interface with the project. We can tell you, where the profit's coming from, how it's going to help TRP, but the actual math of it all, that's going to be more easily explained once our white paper is actually out. So
with that, let's open it up for questions. If anybody's got a question, you can just tap on the request to speak, and we'll bring you up.
Yeah, absolutely. Fire away, guys. What do you got for us?
Well, I guess that's a good sign. If nobody has any questions, it means maybe we've answered everything.
We answered all your questions? I hope we did. We'll give them a couple minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Don't be shy, guys. It's all good. If you have any questions,
comments, want to get on, tell us where you're from, how you got to the project. Hey, whatever. We're open to everything.
Hear some stories too. Absolutely.
All right, here we go. We got somebody.
Got some requests. Here we go.
Hello.
Okay, we've got two.
Hello.
Yep, we hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Can you give me an advice? Let's say I have like 4,000 TRP, which I think is a big bag for a holder. And if we resume at around 100K APY, that would give me around 10% of a 5-day ROI. So that would be around $400. 400 TRP for 5 days. Can you give me advice if should I stick with TRP or should I? Because if I do have 4K TRP, should I stick with just accumulating with the APY, or should I try to enter Farmacy? That's my question.
So without giving financial advice, right? Because again, we don't do that. But I think to get to the heart of your question is, would I move or should I move? What's the better play, right? Well, I kind of point it back to right now as it sits. TRP is worth a certain amount, but it's not a lot, right? We know it's whatever $1.50. I'm going to say today, the last time I looked, and we know that will dump with the bots as that price goes up. It'll come right back down. So the real play that we see here is in shifting some, if not all, of your assets into the Farmacy. because these bots are not going to be able to attack that treasury. And like Render was saying, that price is going to be worth more right off the bat. You're talking about a $4 token versus $1.50. And the idea is that through the protocol and tokenomics, it's going to either maintain that $4 or be above, is the idea, to be above peg. Does that answer your question?
Okay. Thank you.
No problem, man. It's a good question. Yeah, like Medic said, we can't give you financial advice. Whatever strategy you employ is entirely up to you. But from a personal standpoint, I see a lot more value in staking my TRP because I am an investor. I do hold TRP. I see more value in staking my TRP into Farmacy to earn a token that's worth much more, like Medic pointed out, than the token I'm staking. So yeah, you can earn, by keeping your TRP staked in the regular Ohm protocol, you might earn in number of tokens, more tokens. But is the dollar value on that increase going to be more or less? It's hard to say, right? We can't predict that because we don't know for certain how this protocol is going to respond based on the fact that it's somewhat community managed. Like, it's up to you guys as investors to buy into this Farmacy project and maintain that peg, right? If you guys can maintain that peg, then it's far more lucrative in terms of return to stake your TRP into Farmacy. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, we've got another requester here, so one sec. So we got Vverse. Vverse, you should be able to speak now.
Yeah. Go ahead, man. What's your question?
Oh, you're muted. Hit your mute button.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep, we got you. Go for it.
Yeah, so we've seen that those that were on the Phantom network, like once the whatever happened, most of the Tomb folks, they are not doing so well. But this project, you guys are doing it with Binance, right? So BNB. And as far as I know, the price of BNB is going to increase from here on. Like, that's what we are expecting. So my question is, how does this has any risk in terms relating to the project? Because if it goes below peg, then it's going to be hard to get back above the peg, right?
Well, the idea is that when it drops below peg and that vault opens, you now have bonding opportunities, right? So in essence, so the idea is that because you have these juicy bonds that become available, people will want to buy those bonds, thus pushing the price back above peg. So
I would like to add. I would like to add to that bonding mechanism. When the P bonds open, that's a deflationary mechanism. So when you're bonding your script for P bonds, you're actually burning script, right? So the way that the Tomb fork works is effectively when price is above peg, the protocol prints a ton of script to inflate the token, effectively pushing it closer to the peg, right? When people sell the script and the price drops below peg, bonding opens. The reason for that is when you buy the bond with script, you're burning all that excess script that the protocol was printing in order to drive the price down. By taking that script out of circulation via a burning mechanism through that bond, you're pushing the price back up, not only through buying pressure, but by physically removing the token from circulation.
And then in addition to that, you have TRP that can purchase bonds, thus owning that script. Now, when they have that script, they can either use that into the protocol as well, in essence, one protocol buying into the other one, or they could burn that script if they wanted to. If the community wants to, I should say, because the red pill is focusing on becoming a DAO. But this gives those two protocols hand in hand the ability to, in essence, support each other or help where needed, I'll say, for simplicity. Does that kind of answer your question?
I think so. I know it's very complex, so I mean, not just me. Everyone needs to go through this couple of times before we could actually understand the whole thing.
For sure.
It's very complicated, Matt. We get that. So I'm hoping that as we go forward, the white paper is going to make things a lot clearer as well. And also these next two Medium articles, which will show some other ways of applying the mechanics as we go forward. And I think too, once the protocol is out and we all see it operating, things will become much clearer. But, again, we're here to try to walk people through it if you need to, if you need specific answers, when it opens and, wait, I don't understand. What do I do here? Or what is this number telling me? We're going to be here to help you with that, of course. Let me go ahead and bring Artis up here who's got a question. You're on, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, hello. I wanted to know about the contract that we have right now with the TRP. It seems that it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 addresses that are holding the TRP. What are all those?
So it depends on which addresses we're talking about, but I've had a few questions about why is this address sending TRP to addresses that aren't buying? So you have contracts that are printing the STRP that are doing the emissions. Does that make sense?
No.
And if you've got, so people that are staked are getting emissions, right?
Yeah.
So there are contracts handing that out.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, that's decreasing the value. Okay, but anyways, what are those there is the main contract. Yes, that's the one that is doing this, but not 8-9 contracts. It's
right. So if you go to the white paper, if you go to the white paper, you can see the list of all of the protocol owned contracts. So you have a number of them. You have one for TRP, one for obviously STRP. You have the staking contract, the bonding calculator contract, the treasury contract. Then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bonding contracts for the different tokens: BUSD, USDT, USDC, TRP, BUSD, et cetera, et cetera. Uh-huh. Right. So that's very likely. I mean, I'd have to confirm with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But those are likely the contracts that you're seeing.
Okay, and then I'm looking into the stacked TRPs, and I see that there is some holders that has 4K of them, 4,700, 404, 4,400, 3,100, and obviously, but one of these guys decides fuck it, I'm gonna sell. It's gonna be 30% of the value, and the other thing is that if they are staking, they are getting really big amounts of these TRP tokens, and that means that these guys are everything, everyone else with small tokens.
And this is why we're trying to shift this, right? Yeah, this is why we're trying to shift towards the pharmacy, right? Is to take that risk or minimize that risk, I should say, right? If we begin to shift the value of some of this and allow the true investors to take their profit from pharmacy responsibly, the value's not going to be there for them to just pump and dump it like they've been doing, right? TRP will be there as a supportive, but as its treasury becomes stronger, they can sell. It's not going to be 30% anymore, right?
Yeah, but
Well,
by time goes on, they are accumulating these tokens. So for me, I invest $100. I'm gonna get like maybe few hundreds in the end of the month. He gonna have like already 10,000 more tokens. Anyways, that's like
it's
making
a valid
imbalances. Let's say
concern.
it like that.
It's a valid concern. I'm glad you brought it up. But you have to remember with any of these sort of protocols, the people who got in the earliest and didn't sell, they're bound to have more, right? That's how compounding interest works. Now, our bid here, however, and again, I sort of touched on this earlier, is if I'm somebody who has 4,000 TRP, right? Let's say I have 4,000 TRP. Yeah, I could sell it at whatever, $1.50 a token. And make my profit, and that's great. But as an investor and this person, that you're referring to clearly has patience, because if they're holding 4,000 TRP, they're not selling it off in mass. So my guess, my thinking, and my bid would be that person would see the value in staking some of that 4,000 TRP to earn, to earn, like I said earlier, a token that's worth more. Right, potentially.
Yeah, for sure. But then he goes on, like he stacks these 4,000 TRPs, and then he gets the next ones the most. I think so. Maybe you should but make
you're
some
not
max wallet or something like that. No, don't you think so?
A max what? Sorry,
a max wallet or like.
Well, you can't. You can't.
You can't limit the amount of tokens. So the thing is here, you have to remember is that person, if they take their TRP off of the high APY to stake it into Farmacy to earn a more valuable token, they're not earning that 100,000 APY. So they're not actually compounding their TRP anymore. They're compounding for script, right? And the hope here is that they wouldn't be selling off any of, or a lot less of their TRP for profit, because they're making a more valuable token with it. So although I do see the concern, and it is a concern, of course, but that's a concern with any project where you have whales that control a large portion of the token, especially like an inflationary system like TRP, right? So that's why we created this system to incentivize people not just to sell TRP because it's tax free, but we said, okay, what can we do to give people more value and make them hold their TRP so that TRP becomes more valuable? The answer to that is giving them a token that's pegged to 0.01 BNB, right? That's our bid. That's the play here. And is hold TRP and earn a more valuable token. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, just to follow up with what you're saying, and looking at somebody like who you're talking about, who's holding this and is not just dumping all the time, would appear to me that even though they're a heavy holder, they have some interest in the protocol, in long-term holding. This would be the person we're targeting, right? Take your value and put it into a more valuable token and strengthen your position in both. So although I absolutely agree with what you're saying is a concern, my hope is that this person is going to see the value in what we're doing, not turn and say, oh, well, now's the time for me to dump my tokens.
Right, exactly. If they haven't been dumping like up to this point, it seems to me like they're acting ethically and in favor of the protocol, in favor of their own investment, because that's really what it is, right? We're all trying to
looking at these addresses. Some are like taking out at some moment like 200 and so on, because it's the compound. They can take it. At least they take it slowly. But anyways,
right. Yes.
Right. This is what he's talking
hard
about.
To push the price up if there is these big players that can do it regularly. No. Because if there's not the buying pressure, there's not people buying, there's nothing happening. I hope so. The marketing can go on as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's kind of the thing, right? So right now, there's not a whole lot that's driving people to TRP without the addition of Farmacy, because people are looking at it and going, oh, this is being controlled by bots. I'm not going to be exit liquidity. But we're giving people the option to get into this protocol and avoid being exit liquidity by offering them a more valuable return with a higher value token. right? We're basically giving investors of TRP a chance to get out from under the thumb of these bots.
We're incentivizing people to buy into TRP, to use it to get a better position in pharmacy. So suddenly we're creating at least some utility for TRP, which should create some measure of buy pressure.
Yeah. Okay. And about the new contracts and everything, have you made them? Are you sure that you're gonna launch it at these dates that you said? And are you planning to upgrade the website as well? Yeah.
Yes, there will be a new website for Farmacy. I've actually seen some preliminaries of it. It looks fantastic.
It looks so good.
Yeah, it really does. And yes, I mean, the contracts, as far as I'm aware, most of it is written and being tested. So yes, we are on track for these dates. Everything looks great.
Okay, great.
And thank you for your questions. I always love discussion. I think everyone learns from it, even ourselves, right? And trying to teach others, we learn things as well. So great discussion. Anyone else?
Yes, thanks for the answer.
Of course.
Awesome. Thank you.
Let me grab another person up here. One second. Hello, we hear you. Go ahead.
To the treasury from the TRP side. I think you mentioned something about how the treasury will probably be a place where it will be able to support both TRP and also the upcoming pharmacy ecosystem, right? So I was wondering if there will be future plans of being more, giving more information about the treasury, like for example, how funds are used, or like how much is in the treasury in terms of the different assets that we have. Yeah, like for example, recently the past giveaways, right? I think one question that I had was like, how much of the treasury was actually being used? Because I think that's something that could be concerning for TRP holders. Yeah.
Yeah. So just to clear that up, the actual treasuries for both projects are separate, right? So you have a treasury for TRP and you have a treasury for Farmacy. One sec. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Yeah. So the treasury it's separated between two projects. They're separate treasuries. Now, as far as the TRP treasury goes, it is in the white paper how it's used. So basically, a portion of it is used for marketing and expansion, and the rest of it is used to basically hold up the project, right? But the TRP treasury alone will not be responsible for supporting pharmacy finance. They are separate treasuries. As far as how the spending is, I guess, taken account for, I don't think we have any plans to do like a full, monthly breakdown of cost analysis, but it is public knowledge, like how we are spending the treasury, like where the marketing is going, et cetera, et cetera. As far as future plans to leverage either treasury, I don't think there's anything that I know of. But I like the question.
I can tell you the breakdown of the pharmacy treasury will be in the white paper.
Yes, correct. Just like the one for TRP exists already.
Sorry, the one for TRP is in the white paper, is it?
To my knowledge, it is. I'm actually clicking through right now to try and find it.
Oh, yeah, because I'll try to find it too. Okay, but yeah, I think my general question or like suggestion is that I think if more information was given about this, it would be better for the investors too. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think that's something that we can bring to the team, that, the more transparency with what's being done with Treasury, the better. And I certainly agree with that in any project.
Yeah, excellent question, man.
Thank you for answering.
You're welcome.
All right. Anyone else? We're coming up on about an hour, so we'll take a couple more questions here if anybody's got any. Oh, and I just wanted to mention too, like I know I don't think I heard it mentioned in the discussion this morning, but when we were talking about PEG and what happens above and below PEG, so talked about that when it's below PEG, the vault will open for this bonding mechanism, right? Which is a deflationary measure because it's going to burn that script. I also want to mention, I don't think we were clear about, is that when that occurs, the emissions from Farmacy cease. So when it's below PEG, it quits printing script and starts burning it. So we're doing two things there. I don't know if that was made clear. We quit inflating and we begin deflating. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, and it's all controlled algorithmically, so it happens automatically through the contract, right? So that what that means is basically when there's too much in circulation, the protocol switches off the emissions and says, okay, now it's time to go into buying bonds. You profit either way. The best part about Farmacy is that you don't need the emissions to profit, because when the emissions stop and bonds open, you're buying script at a discount on the banking on the fact that you're going to be able to claim it at a premium when the price of script is back above PEG.
All right, community. Well, with that, I think we're going to wrap it up for this morning, this afternoon, this evening, wherever you are. I appreciate everybody coming out. If you're not already in the Discord, please join. Please encourage others to join. We really want, we like the Telegram community. It's great, but we really want to try to shift more people over to the Discord just because, like several of you have asked, as far as transparency, being able to post things, it's so much more organized in Discord where you guys can find information, where we can post information and how we can get it to you than just this long trail of information in Telegram that becomes confusing and frankly, sometimes frustrating for people to find good information. So I'll just kind of plug the Discord one more time for everybody. And we have many announcements coming forward this week. Like I said, you should see a white paper coming and then second and third part of the Medium article shortly after that. So appreciate everybody's time. Y'all have a great and safe day.
Thank you very much, guys. I loved all the questions. And we look forward to rolling out more information for you guys in the coming days, and really ramping up the marketing side of things to get this in front of as many people as possible. That being said, as a community, you guys know, every little bit helps. Every time you guys like, comment, share any of the posts from the team, it helps. It's a huge signal to new investors when the existing investors are happy to talk about the project, right? So get out there, talk about the project, tell everybody what we're doing here with Farmacy Finance. Get them to come to the Discord, get them to come and ask questions, right? Even if you tell somebody about this and they say, Ohm, this, whatever, blah, 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 challenge them to come and talk to us and let us change their mind. Let us tell them all about what we're building and let's get people excited about this. Thanks a lot, guys. The website and the app, once it's launched, you will see